Family, this one's important. Y'all need to pay attention to this one right here. Listen, pay attention.
Tax on MAGA merchandise. And yes, China is proof that socialism, communism works.
So the stock market crashed today. Dow Jones, NASDAQ all down. China hit back with rare earths. So here's some details. China announced that the new export control on rare earths starting December the 1st. Anything made with Chinese rare earth materials, tag, or refining method will need government approval to leave the country. Even products made overseas using Chinese parts are covered. This is a full chain lock. Just in case if you don't know what a rare earth is, rare earths are backbone of modern tech. They power EV motors, wind turbines, fighter jets, and every high-end chip. China refined about 70% of the world's supply, so if Beijing tighten export, the whole global supply chain will feel it. Trump exploded on Truth Social. He called China's hostile, accused it of trying to capture the world, and threatened new tariffs. Right now, how U.S. deal with China is only through tariff at this moment. He said he might cancel his meeting with Xi. It's not canceled. He's just thinking about it, and they're probably going to meet next 2 weeks. These are a couple of things China did for the last couple of days. China opened an antitrust case against Qualcomm. Second, it locked down the rare earth exports. And third, it added a special port fee on U.S. ships. For years, the U.S. used chips to choke China. Now China using rare earths to choke back.
Yes, y'all. Yes.
This is
basically... This is stunning right now. Right now, breaking news. So China owns 77% of the world's rare earth minerals. And as you heard what he said about the uses of the rare earth minerals from anything from the tech sector, like Silicon Valley, or even with fighter jets. So he who controls the rare earth minerals controls the missiles and the fighter jets technology of the future. This is why they're panicking in America. Because if you notice, everyone else want peace. The reason why the Chinese are locking onto these rare earth minerals is to prevent the United States from getting them so that they can create all kind of weapons of destruction to unleash on the world. This is the real reason why the Chinese are locking down the rare earth minerals. You could do your own research. Right now, it's imperative that you understand that when we were on our land right here and we were thriving in Black Wall Street, that they bombed Black Wall Street. I live in Philadelphia. They bombed the Move section down in West Philly, Osage and Pine Avenue. You know, I grew up in Logan, but I remember going to church down in Upper Darby, and we used to have to ride through Cobb's Creek, and we used to have to ride through that little area of West Philly. So I witnessed firsthand the destruction and devastation that the United States government caused in that community down in West Philly when they wreaked havoc on the Move people, the brothers and sisters in the community of West Philly. Now, the thing is, the reason why they're so scared, Donald Trump, Democrats, and Republicans, because I don't want you to get it misconstrued. They all are war criminals. When the world comes together militarily, and right now, if you pay attention in the Sahel region of Africa, right now they just killed one of the biggest terrorist leaders they called him the Angel of Death, that's been causing a lot of havoc in Mali. They just executed him. I'm quite sure he was getting a lot of funding and support from the CIA and Israeli Mossad and whatever the French call their secret CIA services or whatever. But we are dealing with the mafia, a lawless mafia that creates international criminal courts in the UN and all of these fraudulent court systems or entities only so that they can wreak havoc on others and not be held accountable. Now, the fact of the matter that the Sahel region of Africa has stepped away from the International Criminal Court and they're creating their own Sahel Criminal Court, I believe that a lot of other nations are going to follow suit and either pay homage or acknowledge the Sahel Regional Court system now as the international court system so that we can start holding colonizers accountable. This is what the world is doing. Everyone is sick and tired. I told you this is why the Chinese are making sure that they lock down. You can thank the Chinese for locking down the rare earth minerals to prevent these people from causing World War III. There won't be no World War III. I'm put aside what they tell you on TV. They are actors. They are reading a script. You know who controls Hollywood? The same people down in and you know where that's doing a you know what to a lot of innocent people over there are the same people that are collapsing over here, and their whole narrative is being destroyed right now globally. Everybody is sick and tired. We all want peace. We all want to build. And the world is starting to question who the real chosen people are. We all know deep down inside who the real chosen people are. It have to be the indigenous people of the planet, the people, the most peaceful people of the planet. If you go to any nation who the people look like us, we don't have nuclear bombs or nuclear capability. We never had that type of technology. We never worried about that type of technology. We always worried about giving back to humanity and raising this planet to a higher standards. We are the original custodians of this planet. And this is why they always held us back and held us down. What we didn't need to do right now, brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters in Africa are indigenous to that land. We are indigenous to the Americas. We need to reach out because right now Africa has the highest fertility rates on the planet. I believe that it's 3 to 4 billion Africans on the continent alone. So as the indigenous people of this land, under the Indigenous Rights Act, we have every right to request that our African brothers and sisters, our indigenous African brothers and sisters, send over here about 200 million so-called black men or African men or indigenous men over here to help us to be able to clean this continent up over here. Once they create the whole Sahel situation and China locks down the rare earth minerals and they're passing the technology to everybody outside of these colonizers, then I believe that we can get some real accountability and some real justice going. You can go to our website. We have a petition that we created, that we are creating a class action lawsuit against the United States Corporation for the crack holocaust that they caused in our community. Another thing, we have a clothing line called AI, UNIRTV for Ancestral Intelligence. I have a new song coming out called AI for Ancestral Intelligence. We use artificial intelligence to bring this planet forward, but we also always start from the main source, which is the main source, the original intelligence, which is the ancestral intelligence. We use that to tap in spiritually so that we can get that guide spiritually from that realm on the spiritual side so that it manifests into the physical side. If that makes sense to you. We have also a $1 trillion business plan or business portfolio with 5 different inventions alone and a record label, Vegan Valley Restaurant, home of the Veggie Soul Burgers. We have the Spread solar-powered radio internet digital device, picture off-grid radio cellular phone. We have the Uni drones. They call the Dragonfly drones. Some of them put out fires and, some of them do surveillance for the community to protect the community. Those are the butterflies. We are definitely trying to come together and build with the multipolar world with this $1 trillion business portfolio. I mentioned that the Black Wall Street. Well, if you didn't know, the original Black Wall Street was down in Chester, Pennsylvania, Chester, PA, right next to Philadelphia, small little county. It's a dilapidated area, area where they're struggling because most of the people down in Chester look like us, look like me, look like you, if you look like me, the indigenous people of this land. The original people down Chester and all up and down the Delaware Valley was called the Lenape people. You can look up, do your research, the Lenape people of Chester. These are the people where they first started their corporation in Chester, PA. Then they moved over to Philadelphia and they started going from there. I'm talking about the United States Corporation of Colonizers, y'all. Listen, it's time for you to start correcting your status. Get rid of the straw man. I'm not just telling you, I'm working on that too. Support the Underground Nation International. You can't spell the unity without the UNI. I'm just showing you badges on both continents. We got badges right here in the United States, and we got badges also in Africa on the continent, y'all. So let's come together and let's build with unity, y'all. The brothers and sisters down in the Caribbean, we not leaving you out. Our brothers and sisters in Australia and the indigenous ones in Europe as well. We're here to build globally and collectively. We have $1 trillion business portfolio. We created our own currency called the unit. All you have to do is add the Y. It's the Underground Nation International Treasury, backed by the Underground Nation International Trust, which will be your own trust, not a bank account, backed by which we will allocate Underground Nation International tokens. We will present this whole portfolio to the BRICS New Development Bank in the Sahel region of Africa, where we can invest in the gold mines over in the Sahel region of Africa so that we can back our currency with gold and we can get international recognition. And we also have called Badger bonds, where we created the Badger bonds almost like the picture of the Chinese panda bonds. Well, we created Badger bonds, man, and when you invest in a Badger bond, we invest in rebuilding infrastructures, renewable energy, and bridges and roads and high-speed railways over on the continent of Africa and them rising countries and whatnot that's up and coming. Support the movement, y'all. You can go to undergroundnationinternational.com, you know what I mean, and show the love. Peace, family. Much love.